Hello, my name is Caitlin Ideas, and I'm presenting a strategic PR plan for the University of Nebraska High School, which is where I work and have been for almost 4 years. A little bit about the high school to give you some context. It was established in 1929 as correspondence education from the university to students in western Nebraska. We have about 2,500 students now in Nebraska, the United States, and the world. That breaks down to about 10% in Nebraska, 50 outside of Nebraska, and 40% internationally. We have award-winning courses and accepted diploma. I say accepted because our students who earn our diploma go on to Ivy League schools, great state schools, international schools. We're an accredited high school, and we have NCAA approved courses. We have 100 online courses at this point and growing, and we are a flexible option for students. They can enroll any day, finish any day, and access our courses 24/7. The mission of our school is to provide students everywhere with quality education and academic services. And our vision is to create opportunities for students everywhere to develop skills, attitudes, and knowledge that will enable them to be thoughtful, committed, and successful people in whatever calling they choose. The key messages that I put out, we like to use this tag, accredited college prep online. We also tout our NCAA approval quite often. The flexibility aspect, we balance that with making sure that people understand we're rigorous. We are not an easy online option, which is kind of the stigma of online. We're also experienced, obviously, with that 85 years, and we are proudly associated with the University of Nebraska. So right now, the current situation is we are under a lot of pressure to grow enrollments and infrastructure, but to grow infrastructure, we need to grow enrollments. So we have been having kind of an up and down several years here, so you can see the enrollment numbers. These are course enrollments from the last 5 years. The big dip there from 2010-11 to 2011-12 comes from losing a couple bigger partnership schools. Recruitment goals. So these were just defined by my director this week, and marketing plays into them, but they're really more for my recruiter. Marketing wasn't really called out as a section, so I'm hoping to talk to her about that a little bit more. I see where I fit in, but want to have that a little bit more laid out. So I thought I should include them just so that they were a part of this conversation. Primary audiences for us are our parents, educators, association heads, and organizations and coaches. So we break down these audiences quite a bit. Obviously, parents, we're looking at homeschool parents or parents whose students are facing some sort of issue or want to accelerate their education for some reason, or they're very smart, or they have high-level athletes or performers as children. Educators we break down in the U.S. like principals and counselors. We also target specific states. Internationally, heads of schools, directors, association heads and organizations. I put this on here. Internationally, we work through associations most often. And then coaches. Right now, we break that down by sport and then by level. So right now, focus for us is hockey and gymnastics. And in terms of hockey, we have league coaches and then collegiate level coaches. Some niche audiences I have defined so far would be University of Nebraska alumni and fans who have children ages 13 to 18. Nebraska counties with schools who have never applied for NVS scholarships. NVS is Nebraska Virtual Scholars, and we'll be touching on that in a little bit. So the goal that I came up with after some debate was to increase course enrollments by creating awareness, loyalty, and advocacy of our brand with our defined audiences by demonstrating value and expertise throughout our communications channels. So I really want to focus on increasing that course enrollment number. To me, that's the ultimate goal of what I do. Awareness would be more of that hardcore marketing and advertising. But I put loyalty and advocacy in here, not just for our current students, but also for, maybe someone who is, loyal to the University of Nebraska brand, finds our school, doesn't use us, doesn't have a high school student in their life, but then can still advocate for us in various situations. And then I really wanted to have that demonstrating value and expertise because we are more than just a course provider. We do have experts in various issues within education that I think we need to really make sure our audience know about. So objectives. So I based my objectives on each of my audiences, and I defined them by an enrollment goal. I used over is defined as over 2014-15 results, so the percentage increase would be over last year's results. Okay, so diving in here, current customers and students. I'm hoping to increase the enrollment and referrals from this group by 10%. In order to do that, the first strategy would be to create customer and student loyalty through ongoing communications, content, and acknowledgement. We just don't communicate to them enough. We can do a lot more to make sure they're up on the latest in the industry and at our school. And also that two-way interaction. So the yearbook campaign gives them a way to kind of participate in a traditional activity that they would in a local school, but it's coordinated through Facebook. And then our graduation ceremony is another way that they can interact with us on a person-to-person level. Other strategies include offering a referral program, which has been on the table before. Gear, we are looking to create a branded wear or different items for purchase. And then a foundation scholarship fund, which would be a neat way for alumni or parents or customers to donate and provide scholarships. Another group, conference leads, so increase these leads by 20%. My recruiter goes to several conferences throughout the year and talks to educators about how they can use our school. And so to increase that number, one strategy would be to offer a giveaway at her booth and to promote that through various social media at her booth and the advertising around the conference. We can also increase our marketing exposure at the conferences by participating in some of the sponsorship activities, doing more placements with that association, engaging with their social media hashtags and that kind of stuff. Also, I'm going to be starting a pre-conference communication plan so that 2 weeks out from when she goes to a conference, our leads from last year would get an email from us, and then 2 days before. And then once she comes home, expanding that nurture follow-up campaign, email campaign, to hopefully really push along some enrollment. I want to increase general inquiries by 20%. To do this, one strategy is to develop awesome content to drive organic visits and from search engines and social media. So I'm looking to do 2 pieces of original graphical visual content per week, 2 original articles per week, and make sure we develop a mobile-friendly website content pages that emphasizes contact. Right now we don't have the budget to overhaul our whole website, but at least if I can get a page that would be mobile friendly, I think that would be a big impact for us. Another strategy is to use paid advertising on social media to strategically reach key audiences, and I put some examples there. We did try Google AdWords a couple years ago, and they just did not do much for us in terms of the quality of the leads. Okay, so Nebraska, we're looking here to increase by 30%. Last year we increased by 35%, so 30 may seem high, but I think it's doable. To do this, we're going to really promote and administer the President's Nebraska Virtual Scholars Program, which I mentioned. So President Bounds has given 150 scholarships to schools in Nebraska to use for our courses, and so their schools are in the process of applying to that. It's just been a really great way to get the word out. We're really going to be pushing that to the counties that have never applied before, so the schools within those counties, and pushing that not only to the school but to the legislature for that county. We also want to tap into local appeal for educators and legislators, providing content about NVS in their community or just some students in their community who have been successful with UNHS. So really bringing it home for them that their students are using us. And then we want to market publicly to focus on the benefits to students and parents. And we market publicly by movie theater placements, newspaper ads, radio spots, and then I really want to pitch stories to smaller local papers about outstanding students. Some of those feel-good stories I think would be well received. So internationally, we want to increase by 20%. To do this, we establish relationships with education associations, and we also build relationships with educator members of associations, and I put a couple tactical ideas in there. Athletes, I'd like to see increase by 20% to establish relationships with top publications in the sport, we would advertise with them, provide articles to them, and then obviously pitch stories to them. A lot of them I've realized will just accept articles that are written by me, but I do think there's value in having a reporter do it themselves. I think it just comes off a little bit better, so I would definitely like to start pitching more. And then expand relationships with coaches. So this is that quarterly communications, attending their conferences, creating materials that they can then give to parents when they have these types of conversations. And then I think our recruiter needs to be a little bit more organized in terms of like following up with a call, every 6 months or so to see if they have any questions. Homeschool, we want to grow relationships with publication contacts. I didn't put the percentage in here. So I put 10% here of an increase. So to do that would be to grow relationships with publication contacts, advertise, pitch and submit stories. We also want to build those relationships directly with homeschool families. Social media offers a great way to do that. Creating valuable content that can be shared on social media, liking their pages, following them, interacting with them is just a huge way to do that. And then the traditional marketing pieces. Target communities with high homeschool populations by direct mail. They also have so many great publications that these homeschool families love that I can advertise in. Education consultants. This group we're looking to also increase by 10%. And to do that, we're looking to maintain and grow relationships with the IECA Association. It's the main association we work through. And similar to the others I've talked about, advertising, pitching stories, and then purchasing mailing lists to direct mail to their constituents. And then maintain and grow relationships with IECA members, so working the leads that Charlotte gets from her recruitment travels and doing some direct mail. So the budget, I work with a $160,000 budget, which is a nice little bump I got this year. And so I typically break that down by audience, and I've listed them here, not with exact numbers, but by, who gets the most down to the least. And I don't really necessarily always say it's by importance, because domestic is just far more expensive than international at this point. But, we're really trying to beef up the international as much as we can. Most of Charlotte's recruitment budget goes to international. So evaluation, how am I going to measure this? Well, right now our reporting isn't the greatest, which probably sounds crazy to you, but it takes a little manual math to come up with these different audiences and how to track that student as that specific audience through our system. And so that is just a big goal for me this year, is to figure that out and what I need to be able to do within our CRM to be able to pull monthly enrollment numbers tracked by audience. Obviously then individual strategies and tactics will be analyzed based on Google Analytics, Facebook Insights, Twitter Analytics, unique URLs, and then my MailChimp is what I use to send emails. And then I present a monthly dashboard at our marketing and recruitment meeting. So depending on how any of my data is looking, we can make changes and be a little bit flexible there. So if I have sparked any interest for you, you can check out the high school at highschool.nebraska.edu, or on Facebook or on Twitter, which I am just starting. So I'm just becoming a very big Twitter person, I guess. It's a lot to keep up with. But thank you very much for listening. If you have any suggestions, please comment.